Salam. All praises to the horizon, peace and wisdom. Wise Solace here. Today I want to do this quick, deep video discussing love. So, let me give you guys a chance to get in here. Can I get a sound check as well? As I wait for you guys to get adjusted, peace and wisdom KM, page E3. Thank you for the sound check. If you haven't, you can subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up as well. I had a quick brain freeze. My brain froze. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up as well. If you want access to private content, you can click the join word, which is right next to the subscribe bell. Peace and wisdom, Jimmy Infinity. Of course, if you want to give back, you can click the links in the description. Now, I want to get straight to this deep topic of love. Peace and wisdom, Star Vision. Also, if you want the teas, visit wiseservant.org. My magazines and things are there. Consultation. Just go to wiseservant.org. Now, when you're dealing with love, love is not a sound or an action. Meaning for most of us, we would look at love as a sound. You know, the words, I love you. And so when you're looking for someone to express love to you, it's usually through a sound or an action. And so I want to give you guys a clear perspective of what love is. Therefore, you know how to live with it. Now, love is not a sound or action. All of the emotions are. Meaning all of the emotions are a result of love. Are an expression of love. All other emotions derive from love. And so look at love as a source vibration. Not one of the emotions, but all of the emotions we have, they are a result of love. So you have like joy, excitement, fear. Any emotion you can think of, it's an expression of love. Meaning if you're like excited, this is one of the expressions of love. You get my point? If you have fears, so it's the same. It's an expression. It may even be a distorted expression. But all emotion derives from love. Love not truly being an emotion, but it's the source. You know, of all physical things are emanations, meaning all feelings are emotions, as well as all physical vessels. All of these things are expressions and a result of love. So it's the same with hate. Hate is love transcended to its polar opposites. And so When you're dealing with love, you have to look at love for what it is, meaning it's everything. Or everything is an expression of love or a distorted expression of it. Meaning hate is love distorted, transcended to its polar opposite side. And so be aware of self, meaning love is not something that you should be looking to receive, but it's something that you are. What expression of love are you is the question. You get it? Meaning some of y'all are hate. Some of y'all are joy. Some of y'all are excitement. Everybody what they are. But it's an expression of love. If the expression are the thing that derive from the source, can remember what it is as the source, meaning if fear, which is an expression or a result of love, can remember that it has become distorted, then it can snap back to what it truly is, which is that source vibration that we call love. So it's the same with people. Meaning whatever you are, whatever emotional problems you have to remember these are just expressions of, what you truly are. Meaning there's no one in the world that's there's no one in the world that does not view themselves as love. Even the worst person y'all can think of, they don't view themselves as hate. They view themselves as, nah, I'm not that bad, I got my problems, but you like me. You love me. You get it? Everybody has their perspective of self. Like, shit, why they don't love me? They should. It's because of that. That's what y'all truly are. But so when that thing becomes a little distorted, the many expressions of love, when they become their own thing, fear becomes its own thing. This thing becomes its own thing. Joy becomes its own thing. So this is where the problem, falls. Meaning love has many expressions, and these expressions have to exist, but they cannot become stuck and exist on their own. You get it? They have to bounce back to what they are. Y'all can become angry, y'all can become fearful, y'all can be any expression y'all choose, but you have to snap back to what you truly are, which is the love vibration. And so it's a deep thing. Hopefully you guys grasp. If you have any questions, ask. If you just now tuning in, subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Now I want to go a little deeper. I'm going to use the sun as an example. The days. You have never-ending days. But certain days correlate with other days. That makes sense. Meaning all days are connected, but not all of them, just certain ones. They become like polar opposites of one another. Are the same day all over again, but not back to back. I'm sure that's not clear. Some days you lay on your side. Some days you lay on your back. Some days your stomach. So you have those 3 days, but there's no order. You lay on your stomach sometime, your back sometime, your side sometime, either side. All the days that you laid on your side, even if it wasn't back to back, are in order. All of those days are the same day. in perspective. Now use that as an example of what I'm saying in regards to all of your days are connected, but not all of them, just specific ones. It's a rise and set of the sun thing, meaning the sun, it sets and rises in different points throughout a year, which is just its time. And so throughout that time, it will rise and set, let's say through the same portal more than once. Those days being the same. And so the point I'm making is, things are intertwined. View these days like emotions. And so you have envy and ego. Ego and envy going hand to hand, truly being one thing. Those being the opposite ends of a thing. And so, when a person appears to have ego to you, it's the measure of your envy, and vice versa. Let that set in your mind. Deepest thing you ever gonna hear. If a person appears to have an ego to you, let it be the measure of your envy. And so it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. But first, we must acknowledge that ego, the observing of ego. Oh, this is petty. I know y'all thought I was about to say something deep, but you have to grasp. We all have to acknowledge that at some point. Okay, sitting around talking about who has an ego. This is dumb. You gotta have something better to say. Meaning, if someone did something to you, so what they did is your problem with them. But when one says, man, that person got an ego, that means nothing. That means nothing happened to them in regards to that person. But they don't care. And so I'll say again, ego's always is always a matter of envy. Meaning you cannot find the beginnings of egos or the ends of it. It's a perspective thing. You get it? It's like rich and poor. There's no beginning and end. To 50 Cent, there are people who are rich. To your average Joe, they say, man, 50 Cent is rich. You get my point? It's all perspective. How rich is a person? It's a matter of perspective. 50 Cent ain't rich to himself. He is rich to himself, but he knows richer. So you get it? In that perspective, he becomes poor again. You say, nah, I'm slacking. I'm impoverished. He compared himself to Oprah, so now he start to feel impoverished. Like, hold on. In these realms of life, I'm just a small little fish. You get my point? Ego and envy being like that. Meaning, everyone has an ego. How big the ego is all dependent on the opposer's envy. So let's use me as an example. You all have different levels of my ego. Some of y'all will say, man, Solace ego is unbearable. And some of you guys will say, he got a little bit of ego, but it ain't no more bigger than the rest of everybody else. Some of y'all will say, I don't think he really got an ego. He an asshole, but he ain't got an ego really. You get my point? Everybody's perspective is a matter of their envy or they're not having it. You get it? When I say envy, so I don't want you to get lost on me. Say, I ain't envious of you. No. You are the keeper of envy. And so when I'm out the way, you will find someone else. This is what you do for a living. Find people to be envious of. And so this is what I'm speaking of. Ego and envy go hand in hand. I know some of y'all tight, like, now everybody knows I'm jealous of because I know y'all be running around. Silas got an ego. This is a deep thing. Everybody has an ego. It all depends on what you're good at in the moment. So, if we were playing basketball and you were busting my ass, I'm sure you'd be like, see, he ain't that smart now. I can imagine y'all. He ain't that smart now. He desperate. But it's a matter of the envy. And so it might reverse. I might get envious of you then and be like, man, look, he got an ego. Meaning y'all never see me say that about anybody because I'm not petty. I don't really couldn't care if you had an ego. It's not going to make you wiser than me. You get it? Meaning my security levels do not go anywhere if somebody has an ego in regards to wisdom because I figure like, that ain't gonna help them be wiser than me. So what would it matter? You get it? Now, envy kicks in, from insecurities, things like this. All being an expression of love, like I said. So, keep all these things in mind. Meaning, many of you guys have become lost in y'all emotions. That's why I said everything being a result or an expression of love. Meaning, if you hate somebody or you're envious of them, so it starts with the love. You can't forget that for your own self's sake. Lest you be the gatekeeper for envy, then you be looking for people to put it on. You get it? And so envy is just a sign of insecurities. The low side of the ego. And so the point I'm making is if you ever see somebody and you feel like they have an ego, don't ever lie to yourself on the flip side. Because you got to get that away. Meaning if somebody got an ego to you, you got an envy problem. And you can point that they got an ego all you want. But you better grasp what you feeding into and how you're going to start disturbing yourself. A lot of y'all did that to your own self. Someone's got an ego and now you're full of envy. You done forgot. Like, hold on, I really don't even have a problem with Solace. He just got on my nerves that one day. That part. And you've been disturbed all this time. My video pop up, you disturb, you completely forgot. Like, man, Solace is, we probably cool, I think. I don't even know. And so y'all have other people like that in life. You become stuck. You forgot, like, hold on, it wasn't that deep. I was just having a moment. And so, use the two the same, meaning reverse. When y'all say I have an ego, so I'm aware y'all envious. And then I reverse it. I say if people have envy of you, so this is going to cause you issues. And so if they envious, then you do have an ego. You get it? It's interchangeable. Y'all ain't gonna envy the bum on the street. It wouldn't matter what he say. He could say, I'm the best thing in life. Y'all are gonna be like, that bum is delirious. Y'all are not gonna place the word ego on him because ego goes to what y'all view as great. So, keep that in mind. Silas got an ego. I fully grasp in detail every aspect of the thing. So it's like, it's a pedestal thing. Meaning if somebody got an ego to you, you view them as better than you. Why I say that? Because if the bum on the sidewalk said he was the best thing in life, you wouldn't say he has an ego. You'd literally say he bugging. You wouldn't? That part. Y'all only place the ego on things that's worthy of it. That part. And so, y'all wouldn't waste y'all time telling the bum on the side of the road he has an ego. You don't even care. That's why I said ego's a petty thing. It's always a result of envy. You don't envy the bum on the side of the road. You can care less what he's saying. And so be mindful, all emotions and these things, they're intertwined. Meaning, you use the outer to adjust the self. Understanding that. If I have love and hate are opposites, polar opposites. If a person is getting a lot of love, some of y'all become haters. See how the opposites is connected. As they stop getting love, your hate goes down. You get it? The more the more you view me as my ego is raising, you don't look at it as maybe my envy is raising. And so everything is a perspective. You have to be balanced. You become one side of the perspective, then this is where the emotional problems come. You cannot adjust. And so all in life is about adjusting. Meaning whatever feelings you feel, it's about you adjusting self. But so life knows we don't put self on the scale or look at self. So you have the outer. The problem with the outer is, give it a different name. You envious of somebody, you don't say I'm envious. You say I have an ego. It's perspective. It's not me, it's them. And so they're going to say to you, I don't have an ego. You're jealous. You get it? Meaning y'all the same. That part. And so you have to find the balance to kind of grasp, and it's a deep thing. Peace and wisdom. Hopefully y'all grasp. King Ruler said peace and wisdom. He said, I know you read the book Love is Fire. No, I don't. I didn't. I only read peace and wisdom. I'm not concerned with people's perspective. So I'll just leave it at that. Meaning, any book you ponder on, if I read it, if it has to do with a person's perspective, I don't care. You get it? I read The Coldest Winter Ever. We don't ever need to talk about that book. I could care less. You get it? I've read people's perspectives on the Book of the Dead. We don't have to talk about those books. I wouldn't care. We could deal with the Book of the Dead. You get it? Pyramid texts, any ancient text you could think of, I deal with those. You have to ascend beyond people's perspectives of things. You get it? The source is the source. So you don't ever need to read a book about love. This is something that you are, you experience. So you have to just look at it like that. You be drifted somewhere way far beyond yourself, because you get it? That's like trying to get a perspective about yourself from somebody. Can't nobody tell you about love. You. And so Sharian River said, good for you, meditate you, peace and wisdom. And so hopefully you guys grasp. Hold on, I have to get this juice. Go to the fridge. Now I kind of forgot where I was. I'm thirsty. My mind is on that. It's a deep thing. Now, where was I at? If anybody can help me out, I kind of forgot. I lost my train of thought. I know I was speaking about, I was answering your question about that book. I deal with the source thing, so it's a deep thing. Now, I know these ancient texts, the Bibles are the books that belong to the Bible, that to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the the Egyptian one, Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Sumerian's Kings List, and the Numa List, and all of these things. They're hard for common man to read. He doesn't really understand it. And so I read those things. Peace and wisdom, Sherry and Rivers. Peace and wisdom. Yeah, I know where I'm at. And so I kind of deal with those things. The ancient text. But this is for those that's wise. Meaning those texts. No text is for you to learn, but when you know a thing, then so you get it. Whatever books y'all are reading for wisdom, they don't matter. They don't mean anything. Who cares? When y'all become wise as the author or the person, you get it? Then you'll fully be able to appreciate whatever was written, but not for the purpose of you learning anything. You get it? I read like that. To get a perspective of the ancients, I say, man, they know, they knew. I'm not reading it to learn anything. I already know what they knew in perspective, but my own way. You get it? Whatever you reading, when you know it, like the person, you get it? If I write a book about life and you reading it, and you know life as deep as I do, so you'll appreciate it better and say, damn, his mind is deep. When I heard Rupert Spira speaking on awareness, so you get it like that, I said, he got a mind. So it's a deep thing. Meaning I don't just pay attention to, it's deep. Everything y'all hear and know, I hear it, I know it too, but it's a deep thing. Try and grasp. I'm a little special. Like a gift and like Ed. Balance, baby. Special ed, and I'm specially gifted. And most of y'all watching, so y'all know that. You say, yeah, that's a fact. He is special ed. He is definitely as retarded as he is wise. I've never seen anyone that wise before. I've never seen anyone that's seen anyone can be that stupid before. So it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. Meaning I'm the same, I'm wise. If you don't know, if you just tuning in, I'm the same guy that said, what's your favorite sleeping position? The Nate Robinson, laying on your stomach with your hand on your balls. All curled up like Joe Biden on the stairs. Curled up like Joe Biden on them stairs. So then people get confused. They be like, you can't be wise and it's just life. You have to grasp. Fat Dobbs. I don't know. Oh, you retarded. He says special ed kids have fat dimes in high school. Y'all are sitting here thinking about marijuana. Unreal. Dimes, too. They still sell dimes? Forget it. That's not even that's not even important. Y'all about to take me off my flow. Let me stay. Let me stay in the pocket. Is the thing. Now, where was I? I completely forgot. I know I was saying I'm special and special ed, but life is balanced. Like I said, I'm a little gifted and special, so I know many of you guys have aspirations. You like, I'm gonna be wiser than Solace, and you're not. I ain't even for that. It's a deep thing, but whatever's responsible for my wisdom, so aspire to know that thing, that force. It's a deep thing. Outside of that, you'd have to learn science really, really good. History really, really good. You get it? You have to become a philosopher. Too much stuff. I'm all of those things. No one can deny that. Give you the deepest philosophy you ever heard. Break down science, whatever. And so the point I'm making is, if y'all remove competition from y'all mind, because this is what Babylon does to y'all. It puts everybody in dog eat dog kind of mind state. Y'all think that's the way. And it is when y'all like dealing with Babylon, trying to get a job or whatever. You know Babylon is in control over. But just knowing your regular life and your everyday, there is no competition. There's just you, growing. You can't grow right comparing yourself to somebody else. It's gonna make you sour. And so you're wise on your own time, at your own speed. But make sure you put, put the time in. Meaning if y'all put the same amount of time into becoming wise as y'all do other things, like looking for love, kissing ass, you get it? Getting money. Y'all be wise as y'all are in those other things. Y'all may have failed at those other things, meaning you may have put most of your time into getting money and you still broke. And you put a lot of your time into chasing around trying to find love and you still don't have it. But that wouldn't have happened with the wisdom. You get it? Meaning the wisdom. Wisdom and peace is one thing. This is where love is coming from. Meaning love is the source vibration of all emotion. But love comes from a silence, a peace. And so that's your wisdom. And so if you have wisdom, so grass, you will have real love and all other things to follow, if that makes sense. And so just think when y'all at peace and y'all still grasp, that's love. That's when y'all good. Anything outside of that is just an expression, a raising or lowering of that perfect state of stillness and peace. You don't feel hate at that still, peaceful moment. You're just good. So, grasp. It's a deep thing. Peace and wisdom, K Flame. YMC said, how you feel about CERN? No kind of way. About anything. Peace and wisdom. When you come here, you have to, YMCE. I never seen E before, so I'm just telling you, when you come here, you have to have your own mind. And start developing it. Meaning I don't like to hear things that's so common. Everybody says that. What you feel about this? What you feel about that? It should be a compass for you all to see that y'all brains have become the same. Think about that. You're not the only person that say that. That's become too common. Hey, what's your perspective on? You get it? And so that's a result of something. This is what wisdom is. Observation. So they all say the same stupid thing. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? They're grown though. They're all like children. Why do they do that? How many perspectives of one thing do you need? YouTube. Y'all got that from there. You get it? This is how y'all become dumbed down from familiar stupidity. Then the pride, wraps itself around it. And so when that thing gets shaken, the pride kick in. Like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Be mindful. This is how, Babylon works on y'all. Meaning YouTube is a sorcery. Everything is a sorcery. You say, how does YouTube work as a sorcery against us? Got y'all all on the equal level of stupid and completely unaware of it. Meaning y'all all say the same things. It doesn't stop at what you think about this, but y'all all say the same things. No different expression of the thing. You get it? It's the same thing. Like a broken record thing, but a different face. And so that's scary when you become aware. You say, yo, what's going on with everybody's brain? Sorcery is powerful. Meaning y'all think sorcery is some magic tricks. It's the technologies and things being put on y'all. Y'all use it for one thing, it's working for another thing. You're having fun, but on the polar opposite side, something else is happening. And so, if you ever wondering what, it's dumbing y'all down. Y'all have no compass to see. You get it? This is why I disturb y'all. This motherfucker think he wise. I make y'all see how dumb y'all are. Because it be simple shit. I be like, you didn't think of that on your own? And y'all get disturbed. Like, Solace got an ego. That part. Everybody's becoming dumbed down. It makes it easier to stay that way. That part. And so don't ever get lost in, the world. Because the world is being manipulated. That part. Meaning the world is basically under the system of Babylon. And so whatever they going with, it's a Babylonian trick on them. And so I don't care what you talking about. It's a trick. Your glory somewhere behind that trick. Everything y'all fall into is systematics to play their part. You get it? The way y'all all run around crying like y'all oppressed, that is something that was given to y'all to do. Be depressed and low and begging and shit. You get it? It's just like rioting, not rioting, but boycotting and marching. Y'all didn't come up with this on y'all own as oppressed people. These is ideals popped in y'all head by others. Everything y'all got. They gangs, blood and crips. So y'all say, nah, that was started by us. No, it wasn't. Y'all wear the same colors as the presidents. That shit is before y'all gang. Red and blue, Republican and Democrat, that come first. This started from war, cowboy and Indian shit. This my turf. You get it? Dutch and British shit. This my turf. You better stay over there. Beef, war. You get it? Carry over generations later. Y'all adopt the principles that's given to y'all for a purpose. For a purpose. You get it? Meaning y'all can't. If you know anything about America while everybody was warring with each other, there was no progress whatsoever. That part. Soon as the Dutch sailed away and you get it, the Brits kind of however they tell history, basically the Brits kind of stepped in and put everything, on lock. From there, everything developed up fast and nice to how y'all got it now. But before then, it was just anarchy. And so they use these same ideals on y'all. Yeah, remember how? Remember how when we was beefing over America, how we didn't get shit done? That's maybe if we can put something like that in the ghettos. Then y'all have ideals of Bloods and Crips, opposing sides, and y'all don't get anything accomplished except killing each other, which is the same thing that happened in America. That part. So you have to become aware of these things and say, okay, these are all sorceries and techniques, mental games of old to kind of get us to fuck ourselves. And so every idea y'all pick up, it plays its part to strengthen the system. You get my point? Even y'all getting the ideals to overthrow the system. So this is systematic sorcery. I say that because y'all have no clue who the system is. And so whatever you overthrow wouldn't matter. You get my point? Y'all don't understand the inner outer workings of the system and who to truly overthrow. And so, you get it? They control y'all mind, y'all ideals. Y'all don't step out of it to truly look and say, hold on. What am I playing my part in? The activists that's fighting for people that's dying, they're playing their part in the systematics. Some don't even realize it, some do. You get it? Meaning, all those that die, they get exploited by basically what y'all would call y'all activists and all of these things. They don't care about who died. They care about that's their job to bring awareness to who died because this is how they make their money. I don't care what you think about an activist and you say, no, they don't get paid. You a fool. And so, you got to grasp. Ain't no morals in life. And everybody playing their part in the systematics. And so, same way envy and egos work hand in hand against the individuals. The things y'all fall into no different. Work against y'all. Everybody plays their part in this system. And so, if you somebody that don't play a part in the Babylon system, you keep your mind aware of that. You can't trust the people around you because they don't know. Meaning, most of y'all doing things that was made to go against you. It was an ideal or something you picked up that is for the purposes of keeping you low or disturbed in some way. Some of y'all have business. You say, I'm going to get business. These is ideals that were made to keep you busy and disturbed in your mind. Before business, all you had to do was make sure you go out and hunt something to eat for the night. Or go pluck something, to eat for the night. Bring it home to the family. Do whatever work you have to do around your land. And after that, you spending the rest of your days relaxing. Smoking herbals or something. Looking at the sunset. Enjoying your time with your family and your friends. This is what life is about. Enjoying the manifestation. Not sitting around working. That part. Especially not for paper. That's a monopoly game. That's the name of the game, Monopoly. You don't play that in real life with yourself. But y'all do. Because these is ideals. Meaning the games y'all have are based on ideals that were placed on y'all to live by. Most people don't ever realize that. And so y'all stay trapped generation after generation. The system in the city gets better, but the people stay at the same. They have the same oppressions that they had since the beginning, and you get it? Nothing really changes. Be mindful of these things. Hopefully y'all grasp. Peace and wisdom, Jennifer Mooney. Now, when you're dealing with the Tibetan Book of the Dead, of course they have, when people die, they say you have your 70, not your 70, but your seven trials that happens over 7 weeks. This is 49 days. And so when I was explaining to you guys how love is the starting vibration of all emotion being some sort of expression, a result of love. So grasp, you guys have all these emotions now built up, different expressions and transcended states of love. Y'all call them emotions, fear, hate, all these different things. And so in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, when you're going through these trials, what they're explaining in simple terms, meaning if you're someone that reads the Book of the Dead, but you don't fully grasp and you somehow think you do a little bit, in layman's terms, what they're saying is as a mind, a spirit, a soul. This is not physical, but so this is like a feeling or an emotion that is none, just an awareness. This awareness is pulling in different expressions of love. So you can say you are just a vibration, a source vibration, that source vibration being love, but this has no name. You get it? And so you have joy, excitement, fear, hate, all these different emotions. They're different expressions of this thing that's you. We'll call it love because that's what y'all call it. But y'all don't call it self-love. But so grasp. Now, when you're dealing with the Tibetan Book of the Dead in layman's terms, y'all have all these emotions attached to y'all. These emotions being their own entity or their own fixed expression of love. Like I said, all is just a result or an expression of love, but sometimes these things become fixed. Like y'all, some of y'all are hate-filled, but and so you completely forgot, like you are love. You just having problems and you've lost your way from remembering that. These emotions being like that, their own entities now because they've lost their way. And so you feel fear. You get it? You feel joy, but you've not seen these things separate of self. You get it? They're hidden within you. You just feel them. You don't look at fear as an entity. You get it? You just look at fear as, man, that's something I feel. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is explaining how when you die, these things that you harbor, like fear, they're their own entity. You will face them. So, like if you're having a nightmare, this is your fear separate from you now. You're not physical in your dream. So now the fear is separate from you. It's acting as its own experience against you. You not knowing this is not real. You get it? It is real because it's your stuff that you didn't clean up. And so like that. In the Tibetan Book of the Dead, they explain how different deity in different scenarios happen to the soul. We call it tests, trials. And so you may be getting attacked by a deity, ugly one, and you confused, like, who is that? This is one of the emotions, but now you get to see it separate of self. Therefore, you can have an understanding, okay, so when I was filled up with hate, this is what I was harboring. This horrible looking, ugly thing that is like, has me terrified. This is what you was to others. You get it? And so most don't recognize their own expressions, meaning they don't recognize these things as that. They still bonded to the body in their ideals of things. And so you have to grasp. I'm trying to think, how can I explain it? Think like semen, right? If you say to a child, you see this semen, it feels so good. They will touch it and say it feels icky. They do not know you have a more in-depth understanding of that putty. You're not talking about how it feels, but you're talking about the source of that. Meaning an orgasm or semen is a result, a physical manifestation of that feeling. Orgasm being like the pinnacles of love. Love overflowed. You get it? And so this is why when I tell y'all, like, Jesus is that substance. And then Jesus speaks like, I am love and all this stuff. Like that. You have to grasp. Meaning for most of y'all don't understand the correlation in things. You felt an orgasm. You say, oh my God, that feels so good. To see orgasm as entity, which would be semen, but this is a micro level of that thing, so that's nothing to you. But just imagine seeing, you get it? If y'all could grasp that semen, that substance is Jesus. Now imagine seeing the being. You get it? You say, ah, Jesus feels so good. You get it? They're not separate now. The feeling of an orgasm, you have no deity with it. It's just a feeling to you. Now imagine to see orgasm. Now when you're in the presence of orgasm, you like, oh my God, I can't stop orgasm, but that's a person, and you get it? Like that, to completely grasp it in a whole, like what in the fuck? Now imagine fear like that, where you're seeing it and you're like, I'm gonna die. And it's a person. You don't separate it though, like this is not real. And for you, you like, I know this is real. I know that feeling. Now I see it's deep. And so they're explaining that in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, meaning you have to cleanse the self. You have a lot of harbored energies that are going to attack you when you kind of fade out. And so the afterlife is just a matter of that. As one is fading back into unconsciousness, mind going out. So it has what's left over, memory, things like this. It makes for realm, everything you can think of. And so when you're reading the Tibetan Book of the Dead, anything that has to do with the dead, it's explaining how you need to cross that abyss that we call unconsciousness, meaning you have that in every aspect of life. In your day to day, you hit unconscious and then you spring out of it back on the side you were on the previous day or the previous time before you went into that unconscious. When you're reading the Tibetan Book of the Dead and they're speaking of the bardo, and they're like, when a person dies, they fall into the bardo, then they pop out of the bardo and they see weird entities and lights, and then they fall back into the bardo. It's speaking of that unconscious thing that y'all keep experiencing through all existence. It's not going to stop. You're going to keep popping out of that back into awareness. And so it's explaining that, meaning the coming out of the unconscious or the bardo. This is samsara. You get it? And y'all wake up from y'all abyss every day back into here. Never on an opposite side or a polar side. Always back into the same reality and awareness. Like that. When you die, you fall into the bardo, you wake up, and you're still in the process of transcending or manifesting back out again. Kind of like when you fall into unconscious sleep. Now you're going through dream and all of these things before you wake back up into another day again. The same physical reality. So you die, you go through your afterlife or your dream, where you're pretty much transcending to manifest back out physical and awake again. Never escaping that samsara, which is, the physical life or the hell. And so all wisdoms boil back to that, crossing the abyss. So this has to do with the ego, but most people don't grasp the ego, meaning the ego is the urge. The ego starts as an urge, meaning before you get ego, you just have an urge. You say, what's an urge? Like you waking up from unconsciousness. This is a matter of an urge. Otherwise, why did you wake up today? That part. Something you had an urge to do, even if that was just to wake up. So you had an urge in your mind. Otherwise, you would have stayed in your abyss. And so that's your urge. It will grow into an ego. What is an ego? Just an awareness or a mind that is an individual space separated from the rest of the space. Of course, all space is one space, but sometimes pieces of spaces think they're individual. They think they're special. And so you have urge, ego, and then individual. This is the physical manifestation of that piece of mind that thinks it's its own thing. And so that's what you call an ego, meaning the ego is your soul, you as a mind. still lost thinking that you're separate from the whole. You get my point? And so it has nothing to do with a physical thing, the ego. We use it in the physical, but it has nothing to do with the physical. In regards to the physical, the ego is just an individual. I am. You get it? Nothing more, nothing less. A man feeling like he's better than everybody in life, this has nothing to do with the ego. You get it? Man can express how they feel about him feeling that way, whatever they want. But all souls that have woken up and they refer to themselves as I am whoever, boom, ego manifested. The ego becoming the I am, which is to say that mind and unseen deity is now physical. And so all of this starts as an urge in the whole. Urge, ego, individual. And so when you're crossing the abyss, you have to understand the ego in that sense. Meaning this is you. And so the mind has to not perceive the self as an individual, but one with all physically. On a unphysical level, the mind has to see itself as one with all space. When I say space, I'm speaking mind. On an abyss level, unconsciousness, so you as an urge to awaken back into this individual you know yourself to be, that part has to lose the urge to be separate. You get my point? Now, this individual mind can stay in this abyss for eternity, never blending back with the whole, being one. It can just manifest into physical life and go back to the unseen nothingness of the abyss, because it never loses its urge. To say it never sees itself as one with the whole again. You get it? It has distorted its mind space. It doesn't grasp no more. All it knows is it's itself. This is how most of y'all are. You know you. If I say me and you one, you will agree for sake of looking wise, but so you truly don't believe that. You get it? And so we are not all the same in the physical, but so, like I said, this is deeper than that. And so you have to grasp. Crossing the abyss is it's a whole topic on its own. It's a whole understanding on its own, but it starts with understanding the ego and the path of manifesting out, meaning this ego or this urge manifesting out, and not grasping anymore. And so it's a deep thing. I am you said I believe is a lie. So if you truly grasp what I said, you would have said I know we are one. You said I believe, like hope. You can't fool a wise mind. It's not moving on word. It's moving on your soul. Meaning when y'all type, speak, whatever, I know your soul. Like what you speaking from. You're not speaking from what I'm speaking from. You're speaking from another vibration. So I know, like, your vibration is wrong. You say, I believe, but that's the wrong vibration. That's hope talk. It's not the same. So you don't know. If you knew, you'd know all I know. So it's a deep thing I have to grasp. We all in this life the same. But so, y'all are y'all own expressions. It's a deep thing, try to grasp. If you ever wondered about that abyss, a lot of you guys ask me, how do you cross the abyss? I want to kill my ego. Got a long way to go. You don't even grasp it. You have to grasp these things in depth. meaning the self as a mind and the self always slipping into the abyss. Whether we talking physical life in your day to day, you falling into unconscious, or you dying and going through your afterlife and ending up in your abyss or your unconsciousness. Of course, your afterlife is longer than a dream, and your death is longer than unconscious sleep, but all these things being the same. Micro to macro expressions are perspectives of it. And so, you know how long you can stay unconsciously sleep for. And so, just imagine in eternity how long you could stay in unconscious sleep. Meaning, if that force doesn't wake you up or an outer force doesn't shake you out of unconscious sleep, you will be there. Think on that. Y'all don't wake yourselves up out of sleep. Something pushes y'all out of sleep, and sometimes people wake y'all up. Outside of that, you just be there. You can't say, no, I think I'd wake up eventually on my own. How? You don't even know you exist. That part. And so, unconsciousness is a deep thing. The abyss, that is. And so, man is basically stuck there. He's stuck in his abyss and himself as an individual. So, it's a deep thing. Meaning, life is layered. So a lot of y'all say, we cross the abyss, we see God. You're not never going to see God because you already have. You just lost, child. It ain't about you seeing nothing or nothing. It's just about you kind of getting your perspective together in life. I mean, y'all going all through life to see God, and whatever you think in your mind you going through life for, it's all just a matter of that. Lost your perspective. You don't cross the abyss, it wouldn't matter. You be where you at. You be one with the whole. But so like you say, like, I don't like it here. Go somewhere else after time. So grasp. When the individual mind can grasp that he's the cause of everything. So y'all say, if I say I am the cause of all of this that y'all experience. So y'all will say Solace has an ego, he thinks he's God. So I'm talking like that. When y'all grasp, so then I suppose the glory, will happen. Peace and wisdom. Esmental said infinity's greater than all. I have no clue what you're saying, champ. Peace and wisdom. Yeah, I have no clue what you're saying, brother. A lot of y'all get lost on wisdom. Y'all think it's a bunch of stupid talking phrases. Wisdom is understanding. When your words are clear, child can understand what you're saying, you wise. Blurting out phrases from books, mixing thoughts and ideas from this thing or that thing, having a perspective like, oh, this sounds really wise. This is the pinnacles of stupidity. It's always going to, it's like I said, I know y'all soul when y'all do whatever y'all do. This is what wisdom is. You ever hear like, it might be a Jesus quote. Say like when you become like wise or pure, you just kind of see through people. They become like glass, like, you get it? When y'all say Solace got an ego, it's just like a big open book. I say, damn, he envious of me, and you get it? I just know it, the whole orders of it. You get it? It's a wise thing. It just make everything like glass. You just see completely through it. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with my ego. I'm motherfucker just jealous of me. You kind of know the orders, like, it's a matter of that. The more his envy grow, the more of an ego I'ma have to. Wouldn't matter if I'm losing the ego. You get my point? It becomes like that. Now, when you speaking to a common person and you can just express things in that way, where they like, It become disturbing to y'all. Like, how did he know that? It's too real and too truthful. Like, no, men don't supposed to. You're not supposed to know my ego in that way. You get it? Or my envy. You're supposed to just get mad that I said you had an ego, and you, it's deep. And so he said, I'm on my 32nd reading of the Emerald Tablets. And so, like I said, rebuttaling different verses and phrases from books and ideals you grabbed here and there. You see how I said everything? You never said that till just now. But I already knew that. Just from your one little 2 or 3 comments. And so wisdom's like magic. It makes people like see through. Meaning I'm knowing when you're writing in your mind, you're like, Solace is gonna think this is, and I'm not. And so that's where the pain kicking at. Y'all put so much. Y'all don't go from the truth of self. You impress me by saying something simple that was deep. I wouldn't care if you read the Emerald Tablets of Thought if you don't grasp it. I'll know if you grasp it from if you're rebuttaling the words of it, or if you're explaining it in your own way, where it go. Like when I explain the Tibetan Book of the Dead, they don't explain it that way, where they say, oh, your emotional problems is going to come back as individuals and start attacking you. These individuals, these emotions that are individuals, they're places too. Kind of like your dream. There's people there and it's a place, but this is all your own problem. This is all a matter of your own mind. All them people, that's just from your mind. Yeah, they talking and doing their own thing, but it's still your own mind. I don't care if they beating you up in the dream, eh? They a figment of your emotional problems. Period. Same. You see how I explain that, and you say, I get what he's saying. Now, go read the Tibetan Book of the Dead. When you read it, then you'll grasp, okay, now I get what he's saying. I could have rebutted what the book say, but what does that matter? To grasp it ain't that. To grasp it is to say, okay, I get what it's saying. You have to know to know. So it's kind of deep. Try to grasp. Don't take offense to what I said. Use it to become wise. I am you said I got it. To believe is to create itself. Believing is doubt manifested. You get it? It's like everything's hand in hand. The man say he believe in something, he basically letting you know right there off rip, I ain't getting no proof of this. This is basically a lie. Common man his mind ain't clear and pure to where when these things happen, it's just, you get it? It's nothing to think about to him. It's just is what it always will be. That's not what happens to y'all. When somebody come gossip to y'all, it just not to y'all in y'all mind to say they have the problem. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Y'all know what gossip is. Y'all know a person gossiping and talking down on us. Y'all know what it is, but when it happens, y'all do not. You get it? It doesn't just blossom out and you like, oh, I already know all your problems. You just told me. You get it? When a person is speaking, everything in life is individual. It's just got to do with you. And so when a person opens their mouth anything and you have a certain level of wisdom, they become open book to you. You kind of just know. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Peace and wisdom, Hesman tell, like I told you, you don't know what you're talking about. I just told you how to unscramble your mind if you want to stay that way. Peace and wisdom. But talk to me when you unscramble it. Because I'm not looking to scramble minds up. And so, it's like I said, there is no wisdom in books for y'all. If y'all can't clearly see that on y'all own at this point, I don't know what the hell to tell you. How y'all forget y'all do not understand what y'all are reading? You know that already. How does the self lie to the self and say, no, I understand this? No, you don't. And so, sorcery for the brain, meaning wisdom comes from experience and knowing. And so, had you had wisdom, experience, and knowing of whatever you read, you'd know what it was speaking about. You get it? You give a book to a child, they have no experience, they don't know what a pillow, a slipper, none of these things is. They can repeat the words, I have a slipper and a pillow, but if you say, show me them in real life, they have no clue what you're talking about. This is y'all. Y'all read things with no understanding of anything. In that, the book's doing nothing for you. You have to know a thing to know a thing. And so, like I said, I'm not telling you not to read. A lot of y'all brains is like scrambled. I say you ain't gonna get no wisdom from reading. If you can't see that on your own, then I don't know what to tell you. You have to have an understanding to appreciate what is of understanding. What's written in the book is a person's mind. You have to understand the mind. And so, on the grass. Now, please don't play mind games and say, but you sell magazines. If you're sitting here listening to my words or my words is written in the book, it wouldn't matter. It's the same thing. You know me. You can ask me about whatever you read. If you have any question on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, who do you ask? Somebody that didn't write it because you don't know who wrote it. That's the point I'm making. Y'all don't know the source of the book. Y'all don't have understanding of the perspective of the book to even know, like, okay, I'm reading a book about this. The Bible, these books don't have no, like, back page where it tell you this book is about this. They don't have no summary. That part. And so they conceal text, meaning it's secret. If you don't have a certain understanding, you ain't never gonna grasp the book. It's a book to make you stupid. But the book ain't a stupid book. These books are divine in that way, meaning the people that wrote them are genius. If you disturbed in spirit, the book gonna attack you this way. The book is almost like alive, but it's all dependent on your state. If you fucked up in the head, the book gonna fuck your head up more. You get it? It's only for pure minds. That part. You have to be in a certain vibration to read the book and understand it. I've read the Bible year after year, never grasped it. One day I did. It was a matter of the vibration. Say now it's just crystal clear to me. This hasn't happened to a lot of y'all. Where you go back and read old texts and you like, hold on, wait. It's a completely different book now. It's almost as if you've grown up. Like, it's like when I read Pinocchio. I say, oh, Pinocchio's nose is a dick. He says, my nose is growing. This fucking book is about boys' dicks starting to grow. But I read that book a million times as a kid, all the way up until the point where my mind was different. Meaning my mind is just completely blasted open. Everything I see, I just know what it is. But that's a matter of a vibration. You get it? It's not a matter of me doing a whole bunch of studying. Like I said, I read Pinocchio 1,000 times. It was always the same book to me. One day I read it and then I just knew what it was. I said, this is that. And it wasn't like my guess. Like, you get it? How you read, you like, I think it was a no. Like, I know what the hell this is. I know this whole thing already. This is about boys' dicks growing, and once they dick grow, they liars. Ain't no, you get it? Ain't no going around that. Little boy is innocent. Once his dick grow, he gonna lie. He gonna say anything. He belonged to the world, like Pinocchio was. He was in the fucking circus, and he wasn't with Geppetto no more. He was a part of the world. Puberty. There you go. It's a kid's book about puberty put nice. They was like touching on Pinocchio butt and all this weird shit. Meaning the book is deep. It's a book about puberty for boys, put into the perspective of a nose. Most of you guys that say, that's interesting, Solace. You are really wise. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you get to a certain wisdom or vibration, so like that, everything is crystal clear. Even people. Like, once they open their mouth, it's like their words is in the book. It's the same. It's clear. I already know what's what. And so y'all have to learn wisdom, the right wisdom. It's like magic. It's a deep, beautiful thing. Now I have to tend to my throat. I'm a little parched. Hopefully you all enjoy, your evening. Grasp this deep video. Apply these things. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you haven't. Of course, I can use y'all support. So if you want to give back, go to paypal.me/SolaceSolari or cash.app/$ the real Solace. You can also go to wiseservant.org. I got t-shirts, consultation magazines, many different things. You can visit there. You can click the link, the description link, or the description arrow, and all the links will pop up. And you can join you can become a member and join, get access to private, content, things like that. All praises to the horizon. Salam, shalom.